Okay. Hello again, YouTubers. This is my final thoughts on the X-Maxx. Um, Great vehicle overall. If you are going to buy one, you are going to want to do your homework. Uh, Parts that are going to break on you. You're going to have problems with your ESC. It's going to overheat. Basically, with Traxxas, a lot of people have said this, and I believe it 100%. They built this truck to its maximum potential. If you try to put a different motor in it, you're going to start breaking stuff more readily, more faster. Um, it's a ready-to-run car. Any ready-to-run car, any RTR car is going to have its little problems, and that's pretty much half the fun with an RC car is modifying it to be your own. You really don't have that option with the X-Maxx. You're going to break parts left and right. A lot of people get on me saying, stop bashing the X-Maxx, it's not that bad. Yes, it is. The people that say it's not that bad are owners. I used to defend the X-Maxx, but after owning it for 6 months, they came out December 17th, 2015. I got mine December 21st, 2015. 5 days after that, it was December 26th. I was out bashing. It snapped a shock shaft. The shock shafts in it are too small. A vehicle that size needs to have 6, 7, 8 millimeter shock shafts, not 5. Fifth scale vehicles like my Baja, my DBXL, they have 6, 7 millimeter shock shafts. Other parts on mine that one of them is I'll take responsibility for breaking it, but I didn't expect that a piece of steel rod would snap. But I was simply tightening up my slipper clutch. I was doing a video of how to change out a gear and some other stuff. And after I got done, I was tightening my slipper clutch, and I guess I over tightened it, and the thread snapped right where they begin, which that's the same place it breaks with the shock shafts. The same with a lot of stuff. Well, not a lot. Basically, anything that goes down real fast and then has threads, it's gonna break there. Every one of my vehicles, I have 14 vehicles. Well, if you count airplanes and stuff like that, and drones, I have 17, 18 vehicles. The only one I really haven't had to put a lot of money into is my Baja. Some people say this is a King Motors or a Rovan. No, this is a HPI Baja 5B SS kit. I have the paperwork and the box that came with it, even the kit book of how to put it together. So please don't tell me what my vehicle is. I know what my vehicles are. Even serial number, HPI Baja 5B SS kit version. The man who I bought it from put it together horribly, so there are some things that I had that the lower A-arms were not in the right place. The brake assembly was all messed up, but the only thing I had to do with it was get some outer wears to protect the motor. It's got a 29cc. A receiver, battery. Well, no, it came with a battery. A better throttle, brake servo, and he kept his 5th scale servo, so Okay, I paid $605 plus a little tax for the servo. Um, I'll just go down the list. I'm not going to get to every one, but my HPI RS4 Sport 3 Flux. I didn't want to change a lot on it because they're very rare. You cannot buy them right now. So all I changed was a servo to a Savlox servo, Metal Gear. Receiver to a Spectrum SRS 4201. Installed a high-speed gear set. The one downfall with it is that 4,000 kV motor is known to overheat. So I may put in a different motor, ESC combo, but I'm going to leave that. I'm going to keep that ESC motor combo just in case it ever comes to, okay, this is a very good investment that I made that I can make money off of. I don't even know if I would sell it. Exceed RC Drift Star. ESC, motor, servo, receiver, tires, some aluminum suspension parts. Now it does 112 mile an hour, but the steering has some slop in it that I'm waiting for shims to get rid of the slop. I have a HPI RS4 Sport 3 Drift. The difference between the Flux and the Drift is the Drift comes brushed, the Flux, of course, brushless. I changed out the brushed motor, which I hate brushed motors, unless in a certain crawling vehicle or something like that, for a Mama Max Pro and 3800 kV motor. Traxxas Slash, I will say that is probably Traxxas' best vehicle they've ever produced. Unless you run into something at 50 miles per hour. And this is I have the Platinum version. But unless you run into something at 50 miles per hour, you'll break your chassis. If you land from a very high height, in a weird way, you could break A-arms, stuff like that. But overall, it is a very tough vehicle. Plastic chassis, I don't like plastic chassis vehicles. I'll never buy another plastic chassis vehicle in my life. But you live, you learn. Axio SCX-10. Original version. They've come out with a 2 now, which I'm going to change a lot of parts on mine over to the 2. Like the axles, the transmission. I like the fact that the links are even bigger. They're, I believe, M6. So, thicker. And also the high pinion, the axles have a high pinion, so you have more ground clearance. That was one, and they're also smaller. I mean the new ring gears for the differentials in the Axio SCX-10-2 are about 2/3 the size of the regular ones. So I mean they really went to go with, everybody's going with that new scale look, which basically you want a 1/10 vehicle to look exactly like its full-size counterpart. My T-Max, I haven't installed the parts yet. I have aluminum bulkheads. The plastic parts are going to fail. If you get an E-Max, go to Monster RC, whatever it is, get yourself a metal chassis, please. You're going to break the plastic chassis. If you don't, you're being easy on it. But I have bulkheads, skids, waiting to get some lower chassis braces, and center skid plate, as well as probably some aluminum diff housings, better diffs, stuff like that. My Himoto Mayhem, haven't really done anything to it except a better servo, Savlox servo again. That's the only servos I use, and I've showed in other videos the high-tech ultra torque that I had that I was only using as a brake and throttle servo, and it fucking just died. It was browning out on me from the very beginning, but I didn't know what browning out was because I was a rookie at that time. A noob. A lot of these people, like RC nerds, Nitro RC nerds, they call themselves noobs. They've been in the hobby for 4 years. They're not noobs. They may call themselves that. They are not noobs. I'm more of a noob than they are. July 17th is when I got my first Traxxas vehicle. Before that, I had a Hobbytown USA Hellion Dominus. Did great. Had a lot of fun. Never really broke anything. Just a lot of grub screws fell out. I didn't know. I was still learning. Loctite is your friend. Especially going into metal. Minis. Let me get it. I love minis. They're fun. You can take them anywhere. Losi. I have 3 of these. I have 2 brushless and a brushed. Horizon Hobby screwed up and sent me, I had one. They sent me one. It wouldn't bind. So I sent one back and the lady said, okay, as soon as we get tracking next day, we'll send you one out immediately. I said, thank you, because I paid for next day shipping. Well, when Horizon Hobby got the one that was bad back, they sent me a second one. So now I have 2. A speed one that I race with, and one that I put tape on the tires that I can drift with. It needs some new tape, but yeah. Here are the batteries. Tiny little 2S 350 milliamp hour Predators. Inside this one is a 3S Turniggy Nanotech 180 milliamp hour. Very small battery, but damn, it's got power. This thing runs, I believe, about 35 mile an hour. Losi DBXL. Things you need to get it running well out of the box. Tires. DDM HD springs, front and rear. A good pipe. I chose the DDM Dominator. A good air filter. I chose the K&N air filter, and I run a nylon over that. Then a very thin foam, and then an outerwear. So basically 4 stages of filtering, and still. In my video where I talk about, where I go over that, my max speed with stock motor, stock gearing, 41 miles per hour. Phantom 3, you really don't want to mess with those because you'll fuck up your warranty. These I really don't mind, but a Phantom 3, that's $750. Yeah, not gonna mess with that. I did with my Phantom, I believe it's called the FC40. It's been so damn long. I put a Spectrum air system in it, so I could get rid of that cheap ass controller. And that was a fun experience to learn all that. But getting back to the X-Maxx, it's just there's parts that, I mean, half the fun, like I said, is changing out parts, making it yours. And you really can't do that with the X-Maxx or you're going to start breaking stuff. I know with this hobby you have to pay to play. Shit is going to break because we treat these trucks, I mean, if you were to take one of these vehicles and treat a full-scale 1-to-1 vehicle the same way we treat these, it wouldn't last you a day. It wouldn't last you an hour. Except for the rock crawlers. I mean, hell, people who build rock crawlers and rock bouncers, those things they have a lot of fucking horsepower and they can take a lot of torque, but shit still breaks. Again, you have to pay to play. The X-Maxx is just, I'm not going to say don't get one. It was a very fun vehicle. It's just once I started having a couple problems, I just got to the point where I was like, okay, I've had a lot of fun with this vehicle. But I had bought a Baja about a month before that, so I really got into the gas thing. I like the idea of, okay, I'm not held down to a battery. I am held down to, as soon as it runs out of gas, fill it back up, keep going. I run 93 octane with Maxima 927 caster, 2-stroke oil. It's actually a race formula. It's a lot thicker than the regular stuff you can get, so it lubricates a lot better. I run 25 to 1 if I'm going faster. I may try to go a little faster with my DBXL and try 28 to 1. I'm getting a new motor, so if it seizes up, I know how to rebuild 2-stroke motors. I took a class, not a class, I took an entire, what's it called? I can't think off the top of my head right now. I took an entire elective course, that's it, in high school over small motors, and I learned 4-strokes and 2-strokes. They're very simple. Reed cases are a little harder because you have the reed valves and you have to set them up perfectly. If you don't, it's going to run like shit. But that's basically it with the X-Maxx. A great vehicle. I will not say that it's a bad vehicle. I will point out the problems with it, but I will not say it's a bad vehicle because I had a lot of fun with it. I never had any problem with the stock gears, even with the XLX and 2020 800 kV motor. Never had a problem. The problem started when I put the spiral cut gears in, and they are 5 times the price. So honestly, if it was me, again, which it is me again, I bought a Kershaw Designs LCG chassis. Haven't even taken it out of a box. There's no need to right now. I still have other parts I have to buy, but I'm building another X-Maxx up. If they were to come out with the X-Maxx kit, I would be on top of that. But they don't, so I'm just gonna get on eBay, buy parts. Hell, some of the parts you can get for 1 cent if nobody else bids on it. I know someone who's done that. He's built 2 other complete X-Maxxes doing just that. But that's it. For those who see my other videos where I'm going over the X-Maxx, I don't think I ever said it was a piece of shit. It has its problems. Any ready-to-run vehicle has its problems. But to come to my channel and start commenting about my driving capabilities, that Slash over there has seen podium since I've had it 13 times. 4 of those is first place. And I've only raced it less than 20, so I know how to fucking drive. Even drifting, I've got podium 2 times out of 5, and that was up in northern Georgia. There's nothing in this town, RC wise. Rock crawling, it's seen podium. Shit, I can't even remember. Not a lot of times, because I have to drive 110 miles just to the rock crawling grounds for the competition. That's why I hate this town that I live in. There's nothing here. There's no real good places to bash. And where there are places, it's sand, and sand destroys these vehicles. It gets in the moving parts and it's like fucking sandpaper, especially once it gets in with the grease. But those are my final thoughts about the X-Maxx. Great vehicle, a lot of potential if you put money in, if you decide to put money into it. And once you put that money into it, it will be an amazing vehicle. If you have any questions of what may break, what do you need to invest in at first to make it so you won't have problems? Main thing is ESC, CV pins, drive cups, they're going to split. Let me think. If a CV pin breaks, it's going to screw up your stub shaft, and you're going to have to replace that. I'm trying to picture the vehicle in my brain. The slipper clutch, you're going to have to use 2 nuts on it, because even with red Loctite, it still backs off. The nut does, so it's going to start slipping. So you have to use 2 nuts to lock them in place so it won't loosen. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. But X-Maxx, Traxxas X-Maxx, very good vehicle. Better than the E-Max. Tougher, I will say that. It is tougher. Stock. But once you really start, and there's some people that do jumps 20, 25 feet in the air. Come down, and it lives. One thing I've noticed, it seems like some are pieces of shit, and some are incredible. I guess it's sort of like rolling the dice with it. I don't know. But that's what I've witnessed with all the groups I'm in, all the people I've talked to, all the people I've helped. I know that vehicle like the back of my hand because of all the DIY videos, how-to videos I did for it. Just so much, and I love that truck, and I'm building another one. It's just, I'm more into gassers right now, and I don't like being hindered down, held down by a battery. All I gotta do is get a good receiver battery, a good gas engine, and I can go all day, or until I get tired. So, that's my final thoughts on the X-Maxes. Thanks for watching. If you like any of the videos that I have, subscribe. There's always going to be more. And once you get into this hobby, it's so damn addictive. You want vehicle. This is all the vehicles. This isn't every one of my vehicles. I've got some behind the camera, some in closets. This is 11 months. Well, 11 months, 2 days. And this is everything I've gotten in 11 months and 2 days. So, that's it. Got any questions, comments, likes, subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy your X-Maxes.